What's up, my pugnios? Andy with Tech Influence here. Excited to go over the articulating industrial borescope. That's great for being able to have for plumbing jobs, construction. You can use it for your engines, your motors, automotive repair, and maintenance. My father-in-law recently changed the brake discs, and we needed to see behind the brakes if we needed to change the rotors, and indeed we did. I also have a project in my house where I found that there's a hole we could have pests, and this is a great option here to be able to have a really high quality HD video and playback to be able to see 120 degrees in those tight spaces. It's got a very bright LCD screen, easy functions, and recording if you wanted to play back or to be able to have to show while you're on your job site. With that said, this product was provided to me complimentary and this video is sponsored. Down below in the links in the description of the product pricing and availability. Let's go ahead and unbox it, demonstrate it, and go over some of those projects that I need to use this for. Unboxing is pretty straightforward. The box doesn't fit in my camera frame. However, what I like about this is that One has this really nice carrying case that makes it great for travel. You can put it in your truck, you can have it for storage, and what's great about the unit itself is it does have water and dust resistance. Opening it up here, it feels very high quality and durable. You have everything that you need, including some gloves to work with. You've got your charger on the inside, instructions here, as well as the borescope itself. It's made out of high quality metal and plastic material. Peel the plastic off the screen, and you've got here a couple of nips or grips here if you need to replace it. Otherwise, here is the borescope itself. You can see that the lens is very, very long. It stretches probably 4 to 5 feet long, and you do have this head that does have the extra 110 degrees of articulation. If you needed to get into those very, very tight spaces, this head is really nice to be able to have. The lens here on the inside does give you a 1080p video, and you can record directly to the unit here itself. The battery life is 3 hours, and it takes about 2.5 to charge. It's IP67 waterproof rated, and it is a treat to have because it's nice and durable, lightweight as well. You can see here's some of your IO where you can charge it and connect it. It does come with an SD card if you have an SD card reader. Otherwise, you can connect directly to the unit via USB Type-C with your PC or your computer to do so. Turning it on is very simple. You press the power button, it turns on. The LCD screen is nice and bright. Already the camera is starting to play back video. Now, the only thing about this here is keeping it straight, but you can see here as I show off my studio and I show myself off, it is really easy to be able to show that off. It's really high definition. It's nice, high tech, allowing you to be able to get very close to objects, and it does have a light built into it. If you wanted to, you can make it brighter or dim all the way. You can hit record and it will start recording, and it does play back in high definition the video. You can also zoom in if you want to digitally directly into it. If you couldn't get closer, you can hit OK. You can also change the angle and flip your camera if you are upside down. Or if you wanted to play back, you can go ahead and play back directly from the unit. It does have a speaker. And then you also have the ability to move with this little thumb wheel, the camera itself, once you get it all the way into the location that you'd like. Just make sure that you know that what direction your unit is to be able to change the direction on the fly just like that. Let's go on my job location here to be able to show you what I'm looking at. Okay, we're on location here. I do have this hole in one of my bedrooms in the basement, and there is a spigot here or a hose that I need to check on. There's something up there that I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I see that it's cut out and the drywall is removed. I don't know if it was because of mold, mildew, or whatever, or pests. So we're going to use the borescope here to record and try to get ourselves some visibility in that area. And what I like here is how long this cable is to be able to do so. You simply power it on here, and I'm going to orient it so it's straight, and then we can just go ahead and feed it through, trying to figure out what we're looking for. I'm going to go ahead and hit record. You can change it to camera or take a picture, and it'll record 1080p as we go through it. It looks like there is my fire shield. We've got our sewage intake. We got some insulation. Let's keep going further to see if there's anything else that we can see and find. I don't see any damage or pests. Let's turn this the other direction. What's nice here is we can use this little toggle to be able to get the direction generally of where we want to aim. Otherwise, it looks like this just feeds. This is a PVC pipe that feeds into that spigot, and that leads out to the outtake. So I think this is good news. This is exactly what I was looking for. There's no problem going on. I think we might have historically had to replace PVC pipe, but I'm just grateful that there's no apparent water damage and we should be fine here. As you can see, the Borescope was able to reach simply the very top of where I needed to go. I think this is a great option for those projects. I also have a project here with my car that my father-in-law is helping me with. Let's go outside and see what we can do there. As you can see, we are trying to replace the brakes, and it seems like we may have to go further. There's something wrong and a noise that's being made. My father-in-law is suggesting that it could be the bearings that are in the axle, or it could be on the backside here as well. He's going to use the Borescope to try to get a little bit more information about what's going on back there. This car was in a previous accident. Point of contact was at this wheel, so we want to look to see if there's any other cracks or other notable issues here that are going on. It just looks like we need to replace the ball bearings, and so he's going to go in and replace it in the axle. We've replaced the brake pads, and we should be fine to be able to move on.
This is really good to look inside the engines.
Yeah, sure. With that said, I think the Borescope is definitely a game changer. It was great for my different projects I needed to do. It was nice to be able to see that I didn't have any rodents despite that hole there in my basement. I think what had happened is the previous owners had needed to cut into it so they could see the hose spigot there on the side of my house. It was nice to be able to see how bright it was, and the playback was 1080p. It was also great to be able to see that I didn't necessarily need to change my rotors for my brakes in my car, and that we could just get the brake pads changed nonetheless. With that said, this product was provided to me complimentary, and this video is sponsored. Down below in the links in the description of the product pricing and availability. I think this is definitely a game changer, especially if you're handyman, if you're a blue collar worker, if you work in electronics, plumbing, automotive, you name it, this is gonna be great. And it's also a good present to be able to have as well. With that said, thanks so much for watching. Andy with Tech Influence, hit that like button, subscribe if you wanna see more. We'll catch you on the next one.